Welcome to ProgrammingKT. Today in this tutorial, I am trying to explaining about exception handling in Java. So these are the topics I am trying to explain. So what is exception, keywords in exception handling, how to handle exception and types of exceptions, exception hierarchy. So let me start with what is exception. So exception is a abnormal condition that disturbs the normal flow execution of a program. So let me try to write the definition first. So abnormal condition that disturbs normal flow execution of a program. So abnormal condition is nothing but we can't predict. So that is nothing but abnormal condition that disturbs the normal flow execution of a program. So let me try to explain with an example, then you will get some clarity. So imagine we have 6 SOP statements. So for understanding purpose, I am explaining with simple example. In any way, in real time, we don't have SOP, but some logic will be there. So let me start with simple example first. So my intention is I want to print numbers from 1 to 6. SOP of 1, SOP of 2, SOP of 3, SOP of 4, 5, 6. So these are the 6 statements. So imagine inside that any file you wrote inside IDE or text editor. So what is abnormal condition, what is normal flow, and what is abnormal flow? Let me try to explain. So normal flow is nothing but there is no exception, it will print the numbers from 1 to 6. Now let me try to write that numbers, I mean output. Normal flow output, you can say output here 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is nothing but normal flow. Why? Because expected result only 1 to 6 we got the output. So imagine wantedly I am trying to raise the exception by 0. So I will get exception here at I mean statement 4 division by 0 arithmetic exception we will get. Now let me try to write output for abnormal flow. So this is the output for abnormal flow. Now guess the output. So 1, 2, 3. So we got the exception at statement 4. Then rest of the code won't be executed if we did not handle the exception. So this is called abnormal flow. So as a programmer, you need to handle the abnormal condition. Otherwise, program will be terminated with abnormal flow. So these two won't executed. So we need to handle the exception. Once you handle the exception, rest of the code also will be executed. Here some exception will be printed by 0 and rest of the code 5, 6. Once you handle the exception, otherwise it won't executed. I will show you when I write the code inside IDE. So if we can handle, then only rest of the code will be executed. Otherwise rest of the code won't executed. So this is about abnormal condition. I mean in real time, let me try to explain about abnormal condition. So best example is if you are trying to send amount from one account to another account. So imagine in your account amount have 500. So 500 amount will be there some first account, I mean from your account only. So you are trying to send another account 1000. So it is not possible, right? So your account have 500 but you are trying to send 1000. So this is not possible. So in that case we need to raise the exception. So insufficient fund exception. So insufficient fund exception we need to raise. So this is called exception handling. So amount is, let me try to write properly. So account 1 and account 2, this is called from account 1 to this account you are trying to transfer amount 500, I mean 500 or whatever it may be, 500 or 1000 whatever it may be. Imagine current balance about account in account 1 will be 500. So but you are trying to transfer 1000. So current balance is 500, but you are trying to transfer 1000. It is not possible, right? This is invalid scenario. This is nothing but abnormal condition. You need to throw in this case exception, insufficient fund exception. So first we need to check the current balance and transfer. You are trying to transfer amount both matched or not. I mean current balance is greater than or equal to transaction amount, then only make transaction. Otherwise raise exception like insufficient funds. This is the best example. And moreover one more example is, so when you are trying to, I mean applying forgot password, either it may be Gmail or your GitHub or your maybe Facebook or WhatsApp, or I mean I think in WhatsApp we don't have forgot password. So Facebook, Gmail or GitHub, whatever it may be. So when you are trying to click on forgot password button, I mean there may be forgot password. So button, first you need to enter either your email or phone number, it will ask, right? Phone number or email it will ask. So once we click on, once you entered your email or phone number, click on forgot password. So in their corresponding database your email or password is exist, then only they will send reset password link corresponding phone number or corresponding email. So otherwise they will throw like, so email or xyz phone number does not exist, so they will throw some message, right? So this is also one of the best use case about exception handling. So if the corresponding email will be there inside database, then only they will send a reset link to corresponding mail or corresponding entered phone number. So this is called, if the phone number or email does not exist, they will throw exception like email does not exist or phone number does not exist. This is also one more example for real time exception handling. So I hope you got some clarity. I mean what is abnormal condition and how to hand, I mean still I did not explain how to handle exception. So I hope you got clarity on abnormal condition and what is normal flow, what is abnormal flow. Now let me try to explain about keywords in exception handling. So when you are working with exception handling, so frequently you may use some keywords. So let me try to list out them. So first one is try, then catch, then finally, next one is throw, next one is throws. So these are the 5 frequently used keywords in exception handling. So next one is how to handle exception. So exception handling at statement 4 here in this case. So we can handle either by using try catch or by using throws keyword. So how many ways to handle the exception? 2 ways. Either by using try catch, first one is try catch, second one is by using throws keyword. So we can handle the exception 2 ways, either by using try catch or by using throws. So which one is recommended? So by using try catch is always recommended. Why? Because once you handle the exception by using try catch only, it will be normal flow, otherwise it will be abnormal flow. So throws is nothing but you are delegating responsibility to caller method. So if you have created some method, that method is calling by some other method, so that that delegating responsibility from one method to another method. I mean current method to that caller method. So you write the logic M1. So there may be chance of getting exception here. So if you can apply instead of try, this is the abnormal condition. Instead of surrounding with try catch block, you are using throws here. After method, you can use throws. Then who is calling this M1 in somewhere else? Either it may be main method or it may be some your custom method. You are calling some method, right? So these kind of delegating, who is calling this M1, for delegating that caller method responsibility is called throws. By using throws, we can delegate that responsibility from one method to another method. But it is always recommended to handle exception by using try catch only. So that is about how to handle exception two ways. Now types of exceptions. This is one of the most important concept. Let me try to explain. So let me try to explain here only. So types of exceptions. So we can categorize it into, I mean, two categories: checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. Both exceptions occur at runtime only, but if you did not handle checked exceptions, you will get compilation error. So that is the one difference you need to remember. So checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions. So we can divide into two categories. So checked exceptions is nothing. What are the examples for checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions? So someone will ask at interview or some written exam, you can answer like checked exceptions are nothing but so IO exception and SQL exception. Under IO exceptions, you will get end of file exception, file not found exception. These kind of exceptions will come. Interrupted exceptions. This kind of comes under checked exceptions. Why? Because so you are trying to open some file. I mean some abc dot text, whatever it may be. So that file may be exist or may not be exist. So that's why they make it as a checked exception. You must and need handle the exception opening that file, corresponding file. You are trying to read the data from any file. So there may be a chance of the file does not exist. That's why they make it as a checked exception. You must and handle that checked exception surrounded with a try catch block or by using throw keywords. So unchecked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions are nothing but so favorite one is null pointer. So this null pointer exception won't throw any compilation error, but checked exceptions will throw compilation error if you did not handle. So null pointer exception is the most important. I mean, many times you may find when you are working with real time, null pointer exceptions are frequently occurred. So, and next one is arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exceptions, and the third one is out of bound exception. Either array index out of bound exception. This kind of exceptions will be there, right? Out of bound exception, array index out of bound. So when you are trying to access, if array have 5 elements, if you are trying to access sixth element, you will get this array index out of bound exception. Null pointer, arithmetic, array index out of bound exception. So anyway, division by 0 comes under arithmetic only. These are some unchecked exceptions. So you won't get any compilation error, but you may see the error at runtime. So one point you need to remember, either it may be checked exception or unchecked exception, both occurs at runtime only. But if you did not handle the checked exceptions, you may get compilation error. I will show you when I read the code on IDE. So now let me try to explain about remaining. My next concept is so types of exceptions, two types, exception hierarchy. So now let me try to explain about exception hierarchy. So like collection hierarchy, handling, also we have some tree structure. So root class of all exception class is throwable. So this is also mostly asked in the interview question. Throwable is the root class of all exception hierarchy. So anyway, for throwable root class is object. I mean throwable parent class is object. So throwable is the root class of all exceptions. So again exceptions can, I mean throwable, from throwable to we can divide two sections, exceptions and errors. Exceptions and errors. So under exceptions we will get runtime exceptions, runtime exception, IO exception, SQL exception. Like this number of exception, I mean concepts will be there. So under errors, stack overflow error, virtual machine error. So as a developer, virtual machine error and out of memory error. So as a developer, you don't have control under errors. So if there may be stack overflow error occurs, out of memory errors occurs, virtual memory error occurs. So programmer we can't handle it. So the memory is the problem, that is not responsible of a programmer. So that may be maintenance of who is maintaining that JVM. They need to upgrade that. I mean memory size. I mean at the time of loading. I mean up at the time of uptime, you need to increase the memory size. So as a programmer, wouldn't need to care about this one. I mean errors. So programmer responsibility is always handling exceptions, not errors. Errors will handled by someone else who is maintaining that JVM inside servers. So exceptions are handled by programmers. So again, the runtime exception will be handled arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, index out of bound exception. These kind of things. I mean number of exceptions will be there. So this is about exception hierarchy. So throwable is the root class of all exception handling. Again, throwable have two childs, exceptions and errors. Errors programmer doesn't care, exception will care. So runtime exceptions. So here exceptions again we can categorize it into likewise in again here I already explained, right? I mean checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions here. So again exception also we can divide into two categories, no problem. So all these runtime exceptions we can call it as a unchecked exceptions. Unchecked. Unchecked exceptions. All these IO exceptions like SQL, file not found exception, end of file exception. These comes under checked exceptions. Either way, SQL exceptions also comes under checked exception only. These are comes under unchecked exceptions. So this is the one important point you need to remember. What is the root class of exception hierarchy? Throwable is the root class. From throwable only we can categorize into exceptions and errors. So programmer responsibility is handling exceptions. So that is about exception hierarchy. Now let me try to explain about writing some code on IDE, what is normal flow, abnormal flow, and how to handle exception by using try catch or throws. Now let me try to explain about exception handling with an example inside IDE. So let me try to write some code first. So I am trying to write 6 SOP statements to explain about exception handling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let me try to run the code. So I got the output from 1 to 6. This is called normal flow. So suppose there may be a chance of getting exception at line number, I mean statement 4, line number 9. So wantedly I am trying to raise the division by 0 exception. So I got the output from 1 to 3. But anyway, at line number 9, I am getting the arithmetic exception by 0. But remaining two lines are valid, but it is not executing. This is called abnormal flow, not normal flow. So as a programmer, we need to handle this kind of abnormal condition by using exception handling technique, either by using try catch or by using throws keyword. So then only the program will be terminated with normal flow, otherwise it will be terminated by using abnormal flow. So here I am trying to show, I mean live example, right? So 1 2 3 I got, 4 and 5, I mean 5 and 6 I did not get the output. This is nothing but abnormal condition. So if I can handle the exception line number 9, so 5 and 6 also I will get the output. Let me try to show you that. So I will wrap that abnormal condition with a try catch. Then rest of the code will be executed. So try catch, exception is a class and corresponding reference. So I am trying to print that what is that exception. So from that exception class object reference, we can get these are the methods that exist inside that exception class. I mean to show the some description about what type of exception, what is the message, these kind of things. So let me try to print the message. Now let me try to run the code. I will get the output like 1 2 3 division by 0 exception 5 6. That is nothing but normal flow. Why? Because we are handling the exception by using try catch block. So now you can see the output. See here 1 2 3 division by 0. I handled the exception by using try catch block. Then rest of the code will be executed. Not only, I mean two lines, n number of lines. In real time we don't have SOP statements. Some business logic will be there. So once you handle the exception, remaining code will be executed normally. So this is nothing but exception handling. So if you did not handle the exception, the program will be terminated here itself at line number 10. So saying division by 0 exception, the rest of the code won't be executed. This is the, I mean live example and best example to understand about what is abnormal condition. This is nothing but abnormal condition, and what is abnormal flow. If we did not handle, it will print up to 1 to 3. So 5 and 6 won't execute it. That is nothing but abnormal flow. If we can handle the exception, we'll get output from 1 to 3, corresponding message, and remain rest of the code. This is nothing but normal flow. Not only by 0, any kind of, I mean abnormal condition. Suppose if you have array of 5 elements, if you are trying to access sixth element, you may get array index out of bound exception. So rest of the code won't execute it. So for that specific line of specific line of the code, you can wrap inside the try catch block. Then remaining code will be executed smoothly. This is nothing but exception handling. So why it is always recommended to handle the exception by using try catch block, I will show you in live only. I will show you, then you can understand. So so first approach is either by using try catch block or by using throws keyword. These are the two ways to handle the exception, right? So if I can handle by using throws, so this is abnormal flow only. So you are handling the exception, I mean who is calling this main method, we are delegating responsibility to caller method. Who is caller of main? JVM, right? We are delegating responsibility to I mean JVM from main method. So anyway we are delegating, but rest of the code won't execute it. Let me try to run it. So you are observing right here 1 2 3, but I did not get by using, I mean 5 and 6 I did not get by using throws. So that's why it is always recommended to handle the exception by using try catch only instead of throws. So I hope you got some clarity what is abnormal condition. There may be chance of getting exception. We can't predict that, can that is called abnormal condition. And moreover that we need to handle exception by using try catch or by using throws, but it is always recommended to handle the exception by using try catch only. Now let me try to explain about exception hierarchy and some types of exceptions, right? I mean, let me try to explain about types of exceptions. Anyway, division by zero is unchecked exception. That's why we don't get any compilation error here. So division by zero is unchecked exception. That's why I did not get any compilation error. Now let me try to explain about checked exception. So imagine I am trying to explain about file reader. So file reader is nothing but IO exception, right? Comes under IO exception. I mean, all file reader concept. If you have any problem occurs at the time of file reading, that comes under IO exception only. So file reader from java.io package, file reader, new file reader, you need to specify the file location along with file name. So I am trying to provide some sample file name, not the file location. I am not providing text file. So you will get compilation error. If I can remove this throw keyword. So previously, even though without that, let me try to show you. So even though if I can remove this throws keyword, I didn't get any compilation error here. So you are observing, right? If I can replace that, I mean SOP statements with file reader, anyway I can import first. So now java.io file reader class is imported. Now if you can observe here, I'm getting compilation error. This is checked exception. So as a programmer, you need to handle the checked exceptions at the time of developing itself. So otherwise you will get compilation error. Here you are seeing compilation error, unhandled exception type file not found exception. So there may be a chance of file does not exist. That's why we need to handle this exception. This is called abnormal condition. We need to handle either by using add throws declaration or surrounded with try catch block. Once I handled that exception, so that compilation errors gone. So this is nothing but checked exceptions. So all checked exceptions will provide compilation error at the time of developing itself. But all unchecked exceptions, it won't provide any compilation error. So either it may be checked exception or unchecked exception, both occurs at runtime only. But if we did not handle the checked exception, you will get compilation error. That is the one point we need to remember. Now let me try to show you about exception hierarchy. I mean, what is the root class and remaining exceptions as well. Now let me try to go inside exception. First exception class. So this is file not found exception, IO exception, exception, throwable. So this is the root class about exception hierarchy from 1.0 onwards. So exception class, exception extends from throwable. So errors, let me show you about errors also. For opening the errors, I think errors we don't have, but yeah, errors class won't there. So, but anyway, I'm trying to explain. I mean, don't care about as a developer. So we always take care about exceptions only, not errors. Either it may virtual machine error, out of memory error, stack overflow error. That is not responsibility of programmer. So programmer responsibility is always exceptions. So what is the root class of all exception hierarchy? Throwable. So what are checked exceptions? IO exception, SQL exception, file not found exception, end of file exceptions, all this comes under checked exceptions. Unchecked exceptions, nothing but arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, index out of bound exception. These are the some examples. So when someone is asking about at the time of interview, we can answer at least some what are the checked exceptions, what is unchecked exceptions, and moreover that what are the types of available to handle the exception. So try catch and throws, which one is best? Try catch. Why? Because if we handle the exception try catch, then only it is, we can say, normal flow of the, normal flow execution of a program, otherwise abnormal flow execution of a program. So this is about exception. Basic things only I explained. What is exception? Types of exception. Keywords about exception. Exception hierarchy. So with some example. So I hope you got some clarity. If you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT. Thanks for watching.